First, fast, long, and gone. He wants to be first. He wants to be fast. He wants to be long, and he wants to be gone. And I love you, Creer. There's only one of those that you're going to be, and it's gone.
Awesome. Mr. Knuckles to Knives, how are you doing?
My man, thank you for joining the show, Cody. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, man. I'm happy you showed up. I'm glad to talk to you, get to catch up. It's been a minute. I like the glasses. Let's go, man.
I'm happy I showed up too.
Awesome. Let's get
Some
right
days
into
the
it.
Knuckle Maniac wakes up and he's like, am I going to show up today or not? And so far, 37 years and like almost 365 days, I've showed up.
And let's get right into it. We got BKFC Fight Night, Mohegan Sun, August 21st. Another co-main event taking on Joseph Creer. How's training camp been for this one?
Training camp's great. Training camp's easy. Training camp's nice and peaceful. That's how I keep it. All up here is chaos. All around me is peace. And then when there's peace up here, there's chaos all around me. I guess it's a nice balance.
What do you think of Joseph Creer as an opponent?
Well, I think of Joseph Creer as an opponent just the way I think about him as a man. He's worthy. Do you know why? Because the Knuckle Maniac said so, brother.
That's right. That's right. I should have known that. Let's go. What do you think his biggest strength is?
Most will say his biggest strength is his length, but he goes by a motto. I believe it's first, fast, long, and gone. So first, fast, long, and gone. He wants to be first. He wants to be fast. He wants to be long, and he wants to be gone. And I love you, Creer. There's only one of those that you're going to be, and it's gone.
Have you been watching a lot of tape on Joseph?
I've watched enough. My trainer watches it. Whatever my trainer tells me to do in the fight, I do it. I'm highly suggestible in the fight. So I said, if you ever tell me to throw a high kick, I'm firing a high kick. Because I go into a state of flow, known as hypnosis. And whatever my trainer says, I do exactly that. And you can see it in the fights. I don't know if you watch him talking to me in between rounds, but it doesn't matter how many times I've been hit. I'll look him in his eyes. I'll be very calm and I'll say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Or I'll ask him questions like, what should I do? And we make the adjustment and we execute that game plan.
How long have you been with your coach for?
Over 2 years. Over 2 years. And again, we fought all the way back in 2015, October.
You guys fought against each other?
Yeah, in MMA.
Oh, wow. So how did he end up becoming your coach?
Well, we always talked about training together. We'd always see each other at the markets, Mother's Market, Sprouts, or out at restaurants, just out in Huntington Beach. And he was like, let's train together. I'm like, yeah, let's train together. And I was training at King's MMA. Before King's MMA, I was at Dan Henderson's. Before I was at Dan Henderson's, I was at Team Takedown. So I have quite the lineage of training and sparring with really good fighters. Johnny Hendricks, Kamaru Usman. Then on to Dan Henderson, Sean Strickland, Sam Alvey. From there over to King's. Yeah, UFC heavyweight champ Fabricio Verdum. I should have said Sean Strickland, 185-pound champ. Should have said former Pride champ, former double Pride champ, first ever double champ in history, Dan Henderson. But going back to Kings of May, Fabricio Verdum, former heavyweight champion, Marvin Vettori, two-time title challenger at 185, Kelvin Gastelum, Uros Medic, who just beat my teammate. Uros used to be a teammate of mine. He just beat one of my teammates.
Daniel Rodriguez.
So, yeah. Now I'm at Classic Fight Team. And I was at Kings of MMA for 5 years. And it was a time that Mike Tyson was about to fight Jake Paul. My trainer was Mike Tyson's trainer, Rafael Cordero, Master Rafael Cordero, he calls himself. And Master Cordero I personally don't like saying master unless it's Christ Yeshua HaMashiach. But Rafael Cordero was training Mike Tyson and traveling a lot, and he wasn't around. And I was having my first BKFC fight. I did my first BKFC fight. Tyler actually came out and watched the fight with Jeff Craig, one of our other really good fighters out of Classic Fight Team. And they were really impressed. And we just stayed in contact, and I began training with them because I was getting the attention I needed. And yeah, Tyler was very skillful in mitt work, actually the best mitt holder I've ever had. And he learned my fighting style. I learned his way of holding mitts, and we developed a fighting style together. So it wasn't like I didn't just go into this with the fighting style I have now. It was something that we created together. It's a very unique fighting style. And I'm not giving away any secrets, but you can see it. You can see it for what it is.
Yeah, I did want to bring up your last fight there. Last time we seen you was back in May, BKFC 89, Palm Desert. You took out Jomi Escoboza in the first round, and it was super impressive performance. And I believe you finished him with like 3 consecutive straights, 4, right? You threw 4 straights in a row, and it just kind of just like he really had nowhere to go. And he wasn't expecting that many straights to come. And yeah, you swarmed him, man. And super impressive. How did it feel to come out of that victory unscathed? First round finish.
I mean, I wanted to fight and win right after that. So when you're a fighter and you're a winner, you expect to win. So it's like taking a deep breath when you wake up. It's expected.
Did you feel like you wanted to fight more after that?
Of course. But at the same time, Knuckle Maniac's a very nice, loving man, and spent some time with Josh Dyer after. Spent some time with Jomi after. Spent some time the next day with Jomi at the pool. Jomi gave the Knuckle Maniac some fruit, some other snacks, because he had to go on an airplane, couldn't carry it all. Jomi gave the Knuckle Maniac some Pedialyte. Keep these muscles from being so damn sore. So thank you, Jomi. Thank you, Josh Dyer. Thank you, my coach, Boy Tyler Smith.
Are you still in a group chat with Darren Till and Lorenzo Hunt?
Am I still in the group chat that I created?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What man, take me inside of this group chat for a moment. What goes on in this group chat?
Can you share your screen? Can I share my screen?
I don't know how we would do that.
Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah, show your screen. Let's call Darren Till, actually. Why don't we do that?
Start from the very beginning. I'm glad you asked this. This is very interesting. Brother, you can clearly see here that I began the Nuck World Order Declares War group chat. Says you created this group, meaning the Knuckle Maniac created this group. And this was all the way back in, where's the date? I can't believe it's not showing the dates. April 10th.
Right. Wow.
What? Yeah, April 10th. I created the Nuck World Order Declares War group chat because that's exactly what it is. The Knuckle Maniac, the KWO, the Nuck World Order declares war on everyone, specifically anyone in the 185-pound division. So I included Platinum Mike Perry, Juggernaut Hunt, the 3-time 3-belt champion, 85, 205, and the Iron Weight champion, the Juggernaut Hunt, the pound-for-pound proven, keyword, proven best fighter in bare knuckle history. And on top of that, I have Darren Till in there, who's about to get murdered, if you ask me, by Yoel Romero. But if he pulls it off, I'll be happy for him. Anyway, Dave Feldman's in here too. Good day, men. Knuckle Maniac here. I have a proposal. After I defeat Jomi, I want a one-night tournament 2 to 3 months later. So, the latest would be August. BKFC versus UFC. I fight Juggernaut for the 185-pound title, and Till fights Perry for the King of Violence belt. Let me just stop there. Mike Perry is fighting a guy in MMA that can't fight. Of course, he can sit there and he can swim for heel hooks and leg locks, etc. That is a form of fighting. Jiu-jitsu is wonderful. I get it. But this is an MMA fight. And if this guy doesn't, I'm not even going to say his name. Who cares about his name? If this guy doesn't submit Mike Perry, he's going to get pummeled. Mike Perry's going to get paid. And hey, Mike Perry, if you get paid beating him, congratulations. But if you lose, you're going to make the BKFC look bad. Anyway, I fight Juggernaut for the 185-pound title. Till fights Perry for the King of Violence belt. Winner of those fights will fight each other that same night. And the winner, the Knuckle Maniac, is declared 185-pound champion and the King of Violence champion as well. Because that's who I am. I'm not just the Knuckle Maniac. I'm not just the best at 185, but I am the King of Violence. I am the King of Vidal Lance. I'm a champion. I'm a real champion. I fight for passion and purpose first. Money is secondary. We could all make more money doing other professions, but we chose to become fighters because we love to fight and we love to win. Or am I only speaking for myself? Am I only speaking for the Knuckle Maniac when I say I love fighting and winning more than money? Real men fight for honor and glory. Your legacies are on the line. This would be the first time anything like this has ever happened. It's time the best fight the best. Like I've said publicly, there's a new world order, brother. The KWO, the Knuck World Order. And the order is, knock the fuck up. Response?
Hey, Strength Monkey, don't you have a manager that does this all for you?
Darren, is that a yes or no? Darren?
If you want to fight me, sir, it will always be a yes.
That leaves Lorenzo and Perry. That's 2 of us 4 who just agreed to this tournament. The ball's in your courts. Lorenzo, I know you will sign. Perry, beat Nate, so this tournament is that much more appealing. And Perry did beat Nate. Uncle Davey, send the contract. Lorenzo, BKFC is the graveyard for the UFC fighters, and I, the Knuckle Maniac, I am the grave digger. Darren Till says,
Have you took your meds lately?
The Knuckle Maniac said, speak proper English, mother father. It's, have you taken your meds lately? And of course, you can see the little cup of tea and the English flag. Posted something from Juggernaut. He posted. Juggernaut just likes to send videos to everyone, asking them like, comment, share. Why not? Marketing. And then I said, yay, let's watch 2 duck-a-maniacs fight over who the biggest duck is. Lorenzo says, focus on your fight, brother. Jomi is no pushover. What? But it's very likely you will get offered the title shot if you get past him. If everyone in the rankings above you I destroyed or stands no chance. So maybe Uncle Dave sets that up by the end of the year. Train hard. I'm just waiting for the call. Then I say, I got one better for you, Jug and Perry. And I sent a proposal which you can't see or can't hear.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and on and on. And then after I beat Jomi, you can see all I did was post crickets. These are cricket emojis. And I said, thank you, brother. And then Darren Till says, I think you're in a war with yourself, sir. Knucklemaniac says, Knucklemaniac is your favorite fighter. Darren Till says, he's also very annoying. Knucklemaniac says, ha 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 ha.
So good.
And then I go on and talk more and more and more and more and more. And nobody takes the Knucklemaniac serious in these.
So no
some
response,
reason.
no response from Perry though in any of this.
No response from Perry. Every now and then you get a response from Juggernaut. And then Darren Till likes to respond, obviously.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Thank you for taking us through that, bro.
I
That
know.
that is legendary. I remember you posted that one clip of you guys going back and forth. I couldn't stop laughing about it, man. It's so great. I love it. Hey, you know what? I love the idea. Like you said, BKFC versus the UFC. It's there, you know. Let me ask you though. So, did you watch the BKFC 94 Manchester press conference yesterday?
A little bit.
What do you think of that matchup, Darren Till against Yoel? I mean, you kind of already said that Darren's gonna lose.
Darren Till's got dropped by Chalmers. No disrespect to Chalmers. He's not Yoel Romero. And Chalmers fired a right hand and then paused halfway through, which is why Darren Till had a gimme knockout punch.
But do you think that might have just been nerves, coming into his debut in bare knuckle?
What's going to give you more nerves than standing across from Yoel Romero with no gloves on?
Yeah.
That was an actual question. The only answer is standing across from the knuckle maniac, brother.
Yeah.
I'm like the white Yoel Romero, by the way. I don't lift weights. I'm getting older. I'm jacked. I'm ripped. And I'm pretty indestructible like him.
Would you ever fight Yoel Romero?
I already called him out as soon as I found out that he was joining BKFC.
What did you think of Lorenzo's performance in Napoli against Pugliese?
Lorenzo, in the beginning of the fight, when he was dropped, I was just like, what? He got up, and I was interested to see how his chin would hold up because I know his heart, I know his skill, I know his will, and his experience paid off. His fight was a very good fight. However, that was unnecessary damage to be taken from a guy who watched me fight David Simpson and told me that I need to move my head more. Granted, he made adjustments in the fight. A lot of good blocking. He was doing a lot of head movement eventually. But Juggernaut, with his experience, should have walked that guy down, met him halfway, and finished him earlier. Nothing against Pugliese. He's a hard hitter. He's a brawler. But he's not a boxer. And Juggernaut has been knocking people out with one-punch shots recently, so we haven't seen his boxing skills come out. Knocked out Dyer. He knocked out Mundell. Both one-shots. Or who'd he fight before that? McTerrell. And who'd he fight before McTerrell? Was it Richmond?
Richmond, yeah.
Yeah. That was a hard fight for him. That was a fight where he knocked out Richmond by one punch. So
Yeah.
Lorenzo hadn't shown his boxing skills against Richmond. He didn't get to show his boxing skills against McTerrell. He didn't get to show his boxing skills against Dyer. He didn't get to show his boxing skills against Mundell. Because they were taking the fight to him. And he had to knock them out. In this case, Pugliese took the fight to him, dropped him right away. And then Juggernaut went back to old school Juggernaut, blocking this way. And Pugliese wore himself out. And Juggernaut had a part to play in that. Juggernaut's defense helped wear him out too. But that is a lot of damage to take. And when people tell me, oh, you took a lot of damage against David Simpson, to me that did nothing. So maybe he's the same way. Maybe it did nothing to him. And at the age of 44 years old, seeing him perform that way, you got to believe that it didn't do too much. So when I say boxing, I mean intelligent punching combinations with footwork, head movement, defense, angles, etc. Putting together the whole sweet science, not just one punch. Not just wrestling. In which Juggernaut used a little bit of his wrestling in that fight too. So that was a great fight. And at the end of the fight, Juggernaut gave a very humble speech that I resonated with. And yeah, congratulations, Lorenzo Hunt.
For sure. So I'm assuming that's going to be you're going to continue to call for the Lorenzo fight if all goes well with Joseph Creer.
We'll see.
Okay.
We have some surprises for you.
Okay. I like surprises. Let's go. Okay, let me ask you, what advice would you give to young fighters trying to make it to the next level?
Work with me, the Knuckle Maniac, aka Coach Vidal. Other than that, you're not gonna have the right mindset. It's that simple. Work with me, DM me. Doesn't matter if you're a younger fighter, older fighter. If you see what I'm doing, and you go on my business page and you see what I'm achieving, and you don't want that same mindset or a similar one,
When it's all said and done, what do you hope people remember most about the Knuckle Maniac?
the Knuckle Maniac's just a character formed in the imagination of someone named Cody Matthew Vidal, fused of many other characters, many other ideas, Hulkamania, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, just to name a few professional wrestlers, fighters, Fedor Emelianenko, Dan Henderson, George St. Pierre, Igor Vovchanchin, ice cold, Igor Vovchanchin, and boxers like, I forgot to say, Sean Strickland too, had to mention him. He had a pivotal part to play in the Knuckle Maniacs fighting style. But boxers, Usyk, Vitaly Klitschko, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Rocky Marciano, all those men I mentioned, massive influence on who the Knuckle Maniac is. There's no greater influence on the Knuckle Maniac than Christ Yeshua HaMashiach. So, when remembering the character of the Knuckle Maniac or the person, Cody Vidal, remember that we are not to be double-minded. That no matter if it's for entertainment or if it's for education or if it's for empowerment, it's to remain true. And when you remain true, there's many benefits to it. Of course, you could be a liar, a cheater, a thief, and have quick, momentary benefits. But for what shall a man profit if he gains the entire world yet forfeits his soul? So, when you remember me, remember he who lives in me, who also lives in you. Christ Yeshua, HaMashiach.
Love that message, Cody. When you envision this fight against Joseph Creer, how do you see it going? Do you have a prediction for us?
Well, go back to the Jomi fight. When I fought Jomi, the only time you're going to see me take these off is if I'm talking about God, Yahweh, Yeshua. Look at that BKFC there. When I fought Jomi, the day of waking up on fight day, I laid in my bed and I did some hypnotherapy exercise on myself that I created. And in that moment, I realized I was 100% certain of victory. Not that I wasn't before, but when you wake up that morning, there may be some ideas that come to your head that you don't want because the average person has 60,000 random thoughts a day passing through their mind in just 24 hours. And I had this one thought, and I asked myself if that thought actually made any sense. Nope. So my mind, my body, and I, myself, my mind, and my body, we all agreed that the victory was ours before stepping foot in the ring. And as I was laying down with my eyes closed, I began doing the breathing methods I do. I began falling into a trance, falling asleep, and I saw the referee doing this in front of Jomi because Jomi's legs were wiggling. And I told myself I didn't want to knock Jomi out cold because I like Jomi. And to be honest with you, I don't care to knock anybody out cold. It's embarrassing for them. And I don't care to embarrass anybody unless they're disrespectful. And when I saw Jomi's legs wobble in my hypnotic trance, in my vision, my vital vision, made me very calmer. And I opened my eyes, went through the day before the fight. I was in the locker room laying down, our own private locker room because it's co-main event. You get your own private locker room. And the whole time I just laid down and listened to my own voice talking to myself over and over and over again, telling me who I am, who I choose to be. And I get tapped on the shoulder. I wake up. My coach is telling me someone's at the door, and it's Andy Hall checking in on me. I take my earbud out. I put it on his ear. Listen. He started nodding his head yes. Andy Hall says, I don't know if I ever told you this. My dad was a hypnotherapist. His dad worked for the ATF. He would hypnotize the bomb squad to stay calm the entire time, to visualize the word here, not detonating the bomb.
Fusing.
But basically, he hypnotized the bomb squad to imagine defusing the bombs without any errors. And that works. So you got to think, the government sends documents out all the time saying that hypnotherapy literally changes your reality. Because what hypnotherapy does is it activates the imagination, and everything that we create starts in our imagination as a thought, as an idea, everything. So if the government is putting out this information saying that we literally project our own realities and we can attract what we want by projecting what we want, projection is attraction. And not only is the government sending that information out, which, by the way, the word government literally means mind control. So those that control our minds are giving us the secrets to how to control our own minds and control and create our own realities. And then that same government, that same mind control is hiring bomb squads and using hypnotherapy, mind control on the bomb squads to defuse bombs. Why wouldn't you do the same in every aspect of your life? Why? Why would you not do the same? Why would you not captivate the power of hypnosis and use it to change your life by changing your mind? Well, because the Bible's against. Nowhere in the Bible does it say hypnosis. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that hypnosis is bad. Hypnosis is a state of mind. God created the mind. Yahweh created your mind. It's just a brainwave known as theta and delta. Theta, subconscious, halfway awake, halfway asleep. Delta, unconscious, fully asleep. God created sleep. God created trance. God created peace of mind. When you pray enough, you enter hypnosis. When you meditate enough, if you ever meditate, you enter hypnosis. When you breathe consciously enough, like Wim Hof breathing methods, you enter a state of hypnosis. When you imagine with your eyes closed, you enter a state of hypnosis. So why would anyone watching this, learning from this, not do exactly what I said to do to change your life by changing your mind?
Did you have a vision for this fight with Joseph Creer?
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe the day of the fight.
I have many different visions,
Mhm.
and the day of is the final vision, and the final vision is what happens. Talk to Hayes Happy, heavyweight of BKFC. Conor
Yes.
McGregor signed him, helped his signing.
Yes.
Did you ever see the video of me working with
Yes.
Hayes Happy?
Yeah, we talked about that before. You had like a hypno session with him, and then right before or two hypno sessions, and I believe you told him that he was gonna dodge a punch and then hit him with the straight or something, right? And then he actually went out and did it.
I told him after he told me. So how it works is I clear your mind first couple sessions, first session or first month. I clear your mind of all the doubt, all the fear. Clear the fear, clear the fear, clear the fear. Then we learn what you want to do. Then I take what you want to do and I program it into your mind when you feel safe. Because when you feel safe, you're no longer afraid. When you're no longer afraid, you believe. When you believe, you achieve and receive what it is that you want to achieve and receive. Literally, just like reprogramming a computer. Delete the viruses, delete all the useless information, useless files. Learn what you want, learn what you need, upload that into the computer known as the brain. And now the body is controlled by the brain and you by using your imagination, by using meditation, by using prayer, by using breath work, by using visualization. you're controlling your mind. So by you controlling your mind and your mind controlling your body, you become one. Soul, mind, body. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, most
Absolutely.
people don't feel safe. Most people are in survival mode. So most people are fighting their own mind and their own bodies their entire lives.
Yeah.
So to that quick question that you just asked is, did I tell Hayes? First session, I cleared Hayes' fears, his self-doubts. Second session, we visualized exactly what he wanted to do. Then I flew to Italy, all the way from California. He flew from Australia all the way to Italy. And I watched him do it live. And I recorded it. He won by knockout exactly the way he visualized. Exactly the way I hypnotized him to win. And it was the first or second session. Yeah, it was the second session when I hypnotized him. That right when I had him open his eyes, all the power in his house went out.
Oh, wow.
It's not voodoo. It's not evil. It's God-given power. Evil people use it against us. And because we don't know it, we let them program us. Algorithm. An algorithm is a hypnotic program. They don't even like me talking about this. See, it's fucking with the video. It's fucking with the frequency.
That's intense, man. That's really intense.
These are the secrets of success that they don't want us to know. Because the only way to control somebody else is with fear. If you want to hurt somebody, control them with fear. If you want to love somebody, control them with faith. God wants to love us, right? God wants to love us, right?
Yes.
Faith.
Yes.
This was written so we could be controlled by faith. The government doesn't want us to read this. Point proven.
What did you just before I let you go, I really appreciate your time there, Cody. What did you think of McGregor's last performance against Max Holloway?
It was meant to happen. Before the
Why you
fight,
say that?
Conor McGregor, I hope you're watching this. By the way, Conor McGregor, I've been manifesting you for a long time. You just moved really close to me. I'm the guy that's going to help Conor McGregor. Not just spiritually, not just mentally, not just physically. I'm the one that's going to help him. I'm the one that's going to help him professionally. I'm the one that's going to help him personally. Because just like he said, if you can see it here and you can believe it with your heart, then it'll happen. That's my profession. So Conor McGregor needed this to happen because right before the fight, Conor McGregor said his biggest fight comes after the fight, comes after the victory. And he said he devoted his life to Christ, and life is a test. Every aspect of life is a test. So when you make commitments, your commitment will be tested. His faith is being tested. And so far, it looks very good. Yahweh, Yeshua tells us to focus on the spirit. Spirit means breath. Spirit is not physical. And we are not separate from our breath. God breathed his life into us. God breathed his spirit into us. God breathed his breath into us. Our essence is of our creator, Yahweh. He breathed into us. When we die, we leave with the breath. Our soul leaves with the spirit. Follow me?
Yeah.
We are not separate from the breath. We are not separate from the spirit. So, where religion gets it wrong is religion is very diluted. You go to church, you pray, you do your practices, whatever those religious practices are. You go back to reality. There's no permanent change for most people or many people. Now, if people really read the Bible properly, they will see that our Creator, our Father, is saying to do what? Renew your mind. So our Creator is telling us, focus on the Spirit, focus on what's good for the soul, and deny the flesh, yourself, the idea of yourself. By the way, if you spell self, spell it backwards. Spell self backwards. Yeah, if you're daring tell it's sheriff, it would be flesh backwards. But it's flesh is Flesh. Self is missing the H. So if you get rid of your flesh, you find your heavenly self, your H self, your heavenly self, your holy self. I made it up my own. But the point about this is that when we focus on the spirit and we deny ourselves, we deny our flesh, we pick up our cross and we follow him, that requires us to do what? To renew our mind every day. Renew your mind every day. So how does our Creator tell us to renew our mind? Our Creator tells us to renew our mind by taking every thought captive. The average person has 60,000 random thoughts a day. So it's important to take every thought captive because it takes only 6 seconds to produce an emotion. So if you're thinking of a thought, whether it's real or not, let's say it's a bad thought, a thought from the past, a thought from the future, and it's not happening now, and we think that thought for longer than 6 seconds, it produces an emotion relative to that thought. So if you're thinking of a negative situation, whether it's real or not, it's going to produce fear. And fear produces all the other negative emotions: guilt, anger, shame, hurt. And then those negative emotions are energy in motion. That's what emotions are. Emotions are energy in motion. And that energy in motion motivates physical motion. So if you're feeling fear, guilt, anger, shame, or hurt, you will act on those negative emotions. Procrastinate, attack, run away, shut down, surrender. And then these negative actions produce negative results. That is my system. It's called fear. I learned what your greatest fears are. Your greatest fear is going to produce your worst emotion, whether that's guilt, anger, shame, or hurt. Your worst emotion is going to continue to motivate you to produce those same negative habits. And those same negative habits are going to produce the same failures over and over again. And every time you create your own failures, not realizing it, your failure reinforces your fear. Fear fuels failure. Faith fuels favor. So if you want to be favored by God, if you want to be favored by Yahweh, if you want to be favored by Yeshua, accept him and begin renewing your mind with faith. Because when you have faith, that produces good emotions. Okay? Innocence, purity, patience, kindness. Okay? Self-worth, confidence, and healing and holiness. And when those emotions are produced, it only makes sense that you do good actions. And when you do good actions, good deeds, now you create good results. And what greater result to create than your eternal salvation in heaven? So Conor McGregor, if you ever watch this, brother, and I truly believe you will, thoughts become emotions, emotions become actions, actions become results, results become reality. But the reality can change because the results can change, the actions can change, the emotions can change, the thoughts can change. So when our Heavenly Father says, take every thought captive, what he says later is meditate on my word. And the word meditation means to become familiar with. Familiar with. The word meditation means to learn. To learn. And the word meditation and the word hypnosis, they're different words, but they're the same state of mind. So the Bible actually does say that hypnosis is good without saying the word hypnosis. It says meditation, because meditation and hypnosis are the same. It's just the hypnotherapist meditates for you because you don't know how, or you're too distracted, or you're too stressed, or you don't feel safe enough to do what? To go within. Win from within. And the word win has the word in it. The word win has the word in it. And the word in has the word I in it. So I win in. I win in. You have two temples here. God says, our Father says that we are the holy temple. You have two temples here. When you go to the center of those temples, you meet the real I, the third eye, which is inside of your brain. That is where our soul is. That is where you are. You're in the third eye. And the third eye, the pineal gland, is documented all throughout history, all throughout time, in every single religion, including Christianity. So, there is some secrets to success. Okay? If you want to renew your mind the way that Christ tells us to, the way that Yahweh tells us to, you must take every thought captive and you must meditate on his word. You must learn his word. You must become familiar with his word. You must become family with his word. Because who is the Word? The Word became flesh, and his name is Christ Yeshua HaMashiach, aka Jesus Christ. And Jesus means I am in French, Jesus. They translated the Bible. So when you say Jesus Christ, you are saying I am the Savior. And Christ tells you that unless you accept him, you will not be saved. So you have free will to choose and accept Christ Yeshua. So you freely save yourself by accepting Christ Yeshua and allowing him to live in you. It is no longer I who lives, but Christ Yeshua who lives in me. Jesus Christ, I am the Savior.
Knuckles and knives, and we out, baby.